This is a review of how Wi-Fi propagation can travel inside of an RV. So what we're going to show is this is a Google satellite image of a house, and next to it is a carport and then an RV structure here that is has all metal siding and also has metallic windows or metallic window tint. And if we zoom in, we can see that I've got an access point in the southeast corner of the house, and there's an HP printer in the northeast corner of the house. And then in the RV there's also an HP printer, and we put it in a repeater. So this software tool we're using to analyze the RV Wi-Fi is called Ekahau, and I'm going to walk you through Ekahau, and then I'm going to show you what the propagation is of the Wi-Fi. And then at the very end I'll give you some tips on how to select an RV parking spot. So what you need to do streaming video is you need a power level of -67 dB. What does that look like? Well, if we look at the Wi-Fi bands, there's actually two bands in Wi-Fi. There's what you could sort of use as an example as an AM/FM radio in your car. There's a AM band, which is long range at night but low fidelity, and there's an FM band which is shorter range but very high speed. So if we, for example, go and look here at this office, you can see in the 5 GHz band that we can get 1.3 gig on some of these channels that are on the 5 GHz band. But if we go over to the 2.4 gig band, we're only going to be getting 144 meg, and it says you can get 216 meg, but you'll get that only if you're right underneath the access point. So in comparing the long range 2.4 gig band here, it's much faster to go to the 5 gig band and get up to 1.3 gig. So we've got two of these bands that are available in your typical access point, and if we look at this house is giving off the Wi-Fi that this RV parked out back it should be able to receive. So if we zoom in and turn on the Wi-Fi on the short range band right here, you can see the Wi-Fi energy does not get inside the RV. The way that I did the survey, let me turn on the survey routes. You can see here that these dots are where I stood for about 6 seconds and made a measurement of both the 2.4 and 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi energy inside the house and in the yard. These long straight lines are where I walk from this point to this point, and that way the system, while I'm walking in this mode, it takes about 4 snapshots every second. And if we go in and zoom in, we can actually see what the survey points look like. So if I zoom in while we were going around the front of this house, you can see that these are the survey points where the dots are. So now that we have that much data, this software can put together what's called a heat map, and the heat map looks like this. So for example, if I click this access point, this shows me a colorized heat map of what the signal strength is. The reason why -67 is chosen is that's the power level you need to support streaming video, which is 5 megabits per second. If you are yellow or green, you're going to be able to support streaming video. If it's in the gray area, like here inside this RV, you might be able to get email, but you won't be able to get streaming video in this particular area. So this explains why the Wi-Fi coverage inside a metallic walled RV with metal tinted windows is so poor. So this, what we're looking at, this is the short range channel, and you can see we gave it an interesting SSID, the DEA spy band. But if we go and look at the long range channel, you think that might be able to get through the aluminum, but you can still see inside the RV down here that it still has crummy Wi-Fi. And so the fix to that was we installed a Wi-Fi extender in the window of the RV up in the upper right corner, and you can see it was a dual band repeater here on channel 11, and that it was talking or repeating channel 11 inside the house, which was the access point source. There's channel 165, and there's the channel 165 repeater, and then inside you can see there's an HP printer. Oh, by the way, what do printers look like when they're Wi-Fi equipped? Inside the house, you can see that this printer has this footprint of coverage in the 2.4 gig band. So it's talking on channel 11 to the access point, and this access point has this coverage, so that the printers are able to talk to each other. But you can see the HP printer, it doesn't have very good coverage out into the yard like the access point does. The HP printer inside the RV, it has great coverage inside the RV, but that's about it. So now what are we going to see when we turn on the Wi-Fi extender? Well, the Wi-Fi extender is picking up the signal, for example, on channel 165, and channel 165 extender has it's inside the window of the RV, and you can see it gives great coverage inside the RV, whereas if we turn it off and we're relying only on the short range band from the Wi-Fi that's inside the house, there's no channel 165 or 5 gigahertz coverage in the RV. But when we turn on the range extender, look at that, it completely covers the inside of the RV, and it even gets out into the yard quite a bit, as you can tell. Now if we look at the 2.4 gig coming in from the house, you can see that the RV has no coverage, but if we look at what the range extender does for it, completely covers 2.4 gig on channel 11 inside the RV. And that's why the printer, HP printer, is on channel 11, is it needs to talk to the range extender in order to print. So you can see that this range extender did a fabulous job inside the RV, and it's actually getting way out into the yard. If we compare the range extender channel 11 in the yard to the one that's in the house, you see the house, they basically cover the whole backyard. So the message to learn here is, when you're in an RV park, ask for a space that is as close to the access point as possible. So for example, in this particular situation, we can measure off the distance between the access point and the repeater was about 37 feet. And if you can get close to a Wi-Fi access point in an RV park, you want to put the range extender on the side of your RV that's facing the access point in the RV. If you have metallized or tinted windows, there's two types of tinted windows you can get: dye tinted windows or metallic tinted windows. If they're dye tinted, you can get Wi-Fi through them most likely, but if they're metal tinted, you're not going to get any Wi-Fi signal through it. You're going to have to open the window, and the wavelength of the 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi is approximately 4.5 inches. So you're going to need to open the window so that you can get about a 4.5 inch crack in there. What we did in this particular case, because this RV did have metal tinted windows, is we opened the window with a piece of wood and basically used that to keep the air conditioning inside, but the wood allowed enough Wi-Fi through so that the range extender could talk to the access point, and you may have to consider that in your situation. So hope this helps you make a decision on when you're going to get a Wi-Fi range extender and what difference it can make. You can see right here, here's the coverage without a range extender, and here's the coverage inside the RV with a range extender.